Hey guys, so this is something I was just talking about in the Mortal Kombat video. I brought up Pokemon with the new DLC and stuff like that. So people are for once are actually agreeing with IGN, saying that their points are kind of valid. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, the Teal Mask DLC review, masked off. Um, so let's just kind of get into the actual. Kitakami feels like a massive letdown. My feelings about the new Kitakami Island region itself aren't much fonder. Like Paldea, the world of Scarlet and Violet's DLC is butt ugly with low-res textures, little detail in its environment, and a single town mostly made up of buildings you can't enter, and NPCs uttering boring, nothing phrases. The big local festival that trail the the big local festival the trailers hyped up is just a few carts with vendors and some uninteresting NPCs. Yeah, it's true. It's even more of a disappointment when you consider that Kitakami is based on Japan, a nation that Game Freak has based multiple memorable regions off of, Kanto and Johto. Yeah, and when I saw the trailer, I was so hyped for it. Even though I mean, I can't actually play it, but just to see Johto, Pokemon, Wooper and Spinarak, and so many Pokemon that we loved in the second generation, seeing them in this area, they said it's inspired by Japan and kind of very Johto-esque. I expected to see more Johto-esque, places, like a bigger city, town or city, but it's so open and so barren. It's there's just like nothing there. You have like there's what Loyalty Plaza, which is really hardly anything. You have the area with the where the festival takes place, and same thing. It is just a few. It's like the stretch of walkway, and then on the sides you have these carts. And while yes, you can buy stuff, you can buy like you go up to the apple cart, you can buy apples and like caramel or not candy apples and stuff like that, or the fried noodles, and you get the buffs or whatever. It's really not much there. There's the ogre. What was it? Ogre something. Where is it? It's like this game where you ride around with the balloons and you gotta stop. I forget which Pokemon it are. I think it's like one or two Pokemon there that try to eat like the apples or whatever. But there's like one mini game to play, and but that said, the Teal Mask isn't all bad. The battling competitive aspects are still it's always been good. They've always been good, and it's fun to fill up a PC box full of neat little dudes you find running around outside. The island checks out all boxes for that active activity specifically. It's big, full of Pokemon, and has a lot of different biomes to poke around in. I mean, yeah, but there's it's so empty though. Yeah, you have your Pokemon walking around, but it's just I mean, this is an island and there's just um one of my one of my favorite parts of Kitakami was the mountain at the center with crystalline pools at the summit. Yeah, and the lag is horrible. Numerous caves along its path to the top, and a surprising cavern structure within full of Pokemon hiding around corners and in little holes. Yeah, that you go in and there's like like places going upward, and but it's like chock full of goodies and stuff like that. I mean, the whole area, it's like everywhere you ride, there's just like goodies all over, whether it be TMs or potions or whatever. But it's just goodies all around. So, um, but the overall ugliness and performance issues did detract from locations that looked like they were probably quite beautiful in their concept art. Yeah, it's based on Japan. You would expect it to be gorgeous. Like imagining Johto in a 3D world, I would expect it to be gorgeous. You know, Goldenrod, the main hub, like the big city, um, Azalea Town, Ecruteak, where the towers are. I would expect these to be gorgeous. But here we have an island called Kitakami, clearly Japanese inspired, and it's just, ugh. It looks like, basically just looks like Paldea. There's nothing making you think, oh yeah, this looks very Japanese inspired, apart from the festival. Um, Such as when I first laid on those sparkling pools on the mountaintop, or when I crossed the thin stone bridge to the mysterious cave at the Sunset Hill, sunset as the sunset hit the surrounding rock formations. The plot is overdone that even a slowpoke can see it with its twist coming. Yeah, so let's see. Content-wise, the Teal Mask largely consists of a familiar Pokemon formula where you track down a legendary Pokemon while learning about local lore. You're accompanied on this quest by a sibling pair, Carmine and Kieran, and they're twins. And Carmine is kind of like the confident one. She's the bossy one. She's outspoken one, and Kieran's kind of like, okay, sis. And like progressively through the DLC, he becomes more, you know, he's not anymore, to the point where he's actually getting mad and wanting to become a better trainer, because every time you fight against him, battle against him, you win. And he's like, I don't get it, why can't I win? And at like the end of the DLC, it's basically Kieran's revenge, where I'm guessing in the next part, he's going to be a bigger threat. Not like a threat like, oh, I'm going to conquer the world, but he's going to be stronger. We also have, what's her name, Briar, who we find out she's related to Heath. Heath, the same guy who wrote the Scarlet Violet book about Area Zero, and like, oh, I found this strange being shaped like a disc and blah blah blah. Yeah, she's related to him. Um, but she just kind of stands there the whole time in like the lobby of the center, and doesn't do anything really. um, Both of whom spent most of their story alternating between yelling at me over nothing and challenging me to, yeah, there's so many battles between those two. The Teal Mask plot is also overdone that even a slowpoke could see the twist coming, which is a pretty big bummer after the heights reached during the ending of Scarlet and Violet. Yeah, that ending was insane. Um, this DLC campaign is also short, about 7 or 8 hours long. Though catching every newly added monster will stretch it a bit, and you kind of need to in order to do the quest for Perrin that she wants you to do. She's like, oh yeah, come back to me after you've captured 150, and then that's where you go to find the Ursaluna, the um, Blood Moon one. It's like this big old Ursaluna. It's got like a giant full like red on its head, and it's got like a dulled eye, and really cool. Subplot surrounding the photographer Perrin, who is oof, who sends you on a Pokemon Snap-esque photography journey after a totally different legendary Pokemon. For Ogre Ousting. Yeah, that's what it's called, Ogre Ousting. Anyway, after hours, Carmen and Kieran shouting at me, Perrin's curiosity and backstory with photography was a refreshing change, and her photo-taking minigame provided a natural avenue for the Teal Mask to expand on something I love in Scarlet and Violet, discovering Pokemon doing fun things in their natural habitats. Frankly, Perrin's story is so much more than the rest of the DLC that it's a shame I couldn't spend more time hanging out with her. Yeah, and her Hisui and Growlithe, yeah, who she lets you keep, instead of being dragged around by the world's most unnecessarily angsty preteens. Yeah, so after you help her out, she gives you her Growlithe, Hisui and Growlithe, so it's got like the over its eyes and all that. And it's really, really cute. I love that form of Growlithe. She's also related to Adaman, who from Legends Arceus. You can kind of tell she was related just by the coloration of her hair. Like the blue, and then it goes down like that greenish color. But it's like, huh. Ogre ousting is boring, repetitive, and runs terribly. I mean, we really don't have to talk too much about that. But yeah. Okay, which new Pokemon are you most excited to add to your team? Diplin. Now, the Blood Moon Ursaluna, Okidogi, Monkey Dory. Monkey Dory, like their cry, like when it's like okay. So I'm all I hearing is okay. Uh, but Ogerpon, the Pokemon itself is absolutely adorable. But the fact that it can wear 4 different masks and change its typing and what it specializes in, so like, the blue mask is like the water mask, and it becomes a water type, or was it grass water or normal water, whatever it was. I forgot their typing, but the water one's like balanced in stats and all that, and then you have like the Ashen mask, which is for defense, and so it does different things. Um, but Ogerpon is just completely adorable. It really is. Um, Now you have the trio. One's a monkey, one's a dog, and one's a pheasant. And I mean they're kind of forgettable. So, but uh, but the whole Blood Moon with the Blood Moon Beast, the Ursaluna, the picture that she shows you, it is so creepy. Like all you see is like it's just like this black picture or dark picture. You see it's the thing on its head glowing. You see one of its eyes glowing because the other one's dulled, like probably blind or something in it. And it's just actually hang on. So here's the picture that she shows you. That is so creepy. That is something you'd expect to see in the Pokemon world, because everyone wants to think like Pokemon world is all happy, hunky dory, and oh man, it must be great to be a trainer. But then you see crap like this. The head is fully glowing, its eye is glowing. That's what you would expect. But then when you see it, it's just, you know, a regular Ursaluna, really, except the thing on its head. You can see, not really dulled, but it's like it's been warped almost and mutated. Still a cool Pokemon, but this being the introduction, you're like, yeah, this is what we're looking for. It's like, I want more of this. Imagine, instead of just seeing this picture and having Ursaluna come out later on, imagine you're going looking for this thing, and this is what you see. This thing is huge, it's hulking, and it's just, imagine it just like, just slowly walking through the forest, because you find this thing in the timeless woods. And to have this sort of mist and fog going on, and it being dark, seeing this hulking beast just, really, and then, it doesn't notice you, and then it stops, and it's just, right? God, that would be so good. That would be so good, so effective. But that's just me. I'm a sucker for, horror added into things. And Ursaluna, this Blood Moon beast, this everything perfect for that setting. You want to feel that sense of dread and danger. Um, but so basically the whole plot with the loyal trio, Ogerpon was set to be the villain, and the loyal three, ages ago, the loyal three chased Ogerpon out of the village, and they, sacrificed themselves in the battle against. But Ogerpon was actually the good one. That the three actually came to. They're the ones who stole the masks that Ogerpon and its trainer had. And Ogerpon was the one who fought back against them. And Carmen's and Kieran's grandfather finally says, yeah, it's been the secret of our family that, everyone else in the village, we have this festival in honor of the loyal three, but they're actually the villains. they're the ones who caused the problems, and Ogerpon was defending us. Um, but I mean, Ogerpon is really fun. She's really cute. Um, the thing with a parent, I mean, just going to look for this thing, you go around to kind of uh take pictures of the Pokemon there, and she kind of like tries to like triangulate and zoom, focus in on where this Pokemon would be. Um, but just seriously, imagine walking through and seeing this freaking beast coming towards you, or not even coming towards you, just slowly going about its business. But then one of you, and it's a cutscene, and you know one of you steps back, and just a cliche like steps back on a twig or something, and it just stops, and then it's just kind of looking the same way that it's been looking, but then slowly just like, and you just see that eye slowly look towards you. So good. But I really hope the next part with which continues the story, and then you have what's its name? Uh Aragosa. No. The other Pokemon, I forgot the name. The disc one, uh but hopefully, I mean, because there's been a lot of unanswered questions in Scarlet Violet. We're introduced to someone who's Heath's relative. She wants to see Area Zero and discover more about this. We want to, she wants to apparently bring terrestrializing to like other, you know, places. Uh, so hopefully we learn what the source is. We're guessing the Pokemon, you know, but hope, yeah, Sword and Shield's Isle of Armor and Crown Tundra. Yeah. It's also surprisingly weak effort when compared to Game Freak's previous DLC attempts in Pokemon Sword and Shield's Isle of Armor and Crown Tundra. Yeah, I mean, Kitakami is such a small area. There's not a lot going on there. The fact that it's based on Japan really lacks. It just looks like a small portion of Paldea. It's almost like WoW dungeons, where they take place in the open area, and it's just like the gaming company just like, the devs go in there and they just take a small portion and just kind of like isolate that, so when you're in the dungeon you look around and you can see it, but it's not all fully there. That's basically what it looks like. It just looks like they took Paldea and cut a small portion out of it and be like, oh, there you go, you can play in that. It doesn't scream Japanese inspired. The name Kitakami, and you have the little area where you have the festival, which Japanese inspired, but the rest of it, there's nothing there that screams Japan. You see Johto Pokemon, but it's I really hope the next one is a lot better, and I hope the next game, I really want them to do a Legend Celebi or something. Seeing ancient Johto when the towers were still there, maybe see how the three dogs came to be. We know that the three Pokemon were killed in the tower, and Ho-Oh resurrected them as, Suicune, Entei, and Raikou. Would love to see that. But yeah, it's just for once IGN valid points. Yeah, look at here's Ogerpon. Just look at she's just adorable. We hereby certify your achievement of completing the Kitakami Pokedex. May this great feat be celebrated by all. Yeah, you got the masks right there, but Ogerpon's just adorable. People, the frame rates have gotten worse. Meanwhile, me not having any frame rate issues. No, it's pretty bad. Still IGN that gives 7 to Isle of Armor. Yeah. Doesn't look ugly. Kinda is. Not gonna lie, it's refreshing to see Nintendo Game Freak TBC called out for their low effort, low quality games and DLC. I mean, if they could make something that was more akin to Legends Arceus, that would be great. That game was really good. Um, but just honestly, just playing these games gives me eye strain, which sucks because I love Pokemon. Sure, but also like I really enjoyed Teal Mask. I love the story, but I didn't like how every Pokemon was around the same level as you because I was finding level 75 Grubbins. Yeah, it's all scaled up. It's bad. Literally got it for the competitive Pokemon aspect. It's a shame TBC doesn't care. Counterpoint. Yeah, look at that's true, but Ogerpon. Yeah, see, it's like Ogerpon is adorable. Ogerpon's adorable. But although I'm not keen on IGN, they're spot on. Game Freak needs to wake up. Yeah, that's what I was saying. It's like it's Pokemon. You have such a you know you know what I mean? I even if I can't really say what I mean, you guys know what I'm talking about because you guys are like, yeah, I feel ya. They could be doing so much more. You have the freaking design of the trio themselves. They're just ugly to look at. But then you have Kieran and Carmine, who, I mean, cool enough looking. But I think Ogerpon, if anything, was truly the star. I mean, kind of had to be. It's called a Teal Mask, which that's what it's wearing. But Ogerpon really stole the DLC, and if Ogerpon wasn't there, it would have been boring as hell. Um, but Pokemon games nowadays are like hit and miss. Sometimes you get a really good Pokemon game, and sometimes you get a game and then you have DLC, but then it's like really bad. Wait, but Japan, clearly you can tell. How did they mess it up that badly? How did they mess it up? Because again, when I think of a full 3D, I want to see something like Johto. Even if it was like one of the starting places in Johto, kind of like how it's barren, but there's still stuff to do. Something like that. You could go and have like a Bellsprout Tower kind of deal where you can go in and you can fight to the top and you get rewarded at the end. Even something like this could have had a battle in it, but it didn't. It didn't. Anyway, but yeah, let me know what you guys think of the DLC. Was it Terapagos? Was the Pokemon yeah, I think it's called Terapagos. Just a happy little turtle. Uh just a letdown. Just a letdown. But anyway, let me know what you guys think. If you played it, what did you think? Did you have any problems with the Crystal Lake, with that lag problem? What did you think of the characters, and why you think Ogerpon is the best Pokemon so far? Because that's freaking adorable. Anyway, that's gonna do for me. You guys know the drill. I'll see you guys later. Bye, guys.